Long ago, in a bright little village called Mwanga, where the wind whispered through tall grass and acacia trees stretched toward the sun, there lived a clever child named Zuri. Zuri lived with Mama Nia and Baba Django in a small round hut with a thatched roof. They were farmers. Every morning, before the sun rose high, they worked in their little field planting maize, sweet potatoes and beans. They did not have much, but they had each other, and that was enough. Until one morning, things began to disappear. Baba Django stood in the field, scratching his head. "Yesterday we had 3 rows of sweet potatoes," he said slowly. "Today, we have 1. Mama Nia bent down and touched the soil. They were enormous. Not goat foot, not cow foot, giant foot. The villagers began to whisper. "There is a giant in the hills," some said. Zuri's eyes sparkled not with fear, but with curiosity. "That giant is stealing our dinner," Zuri said firmly. That evening, Zuri wrapped up in a blanket and carried a small lantern to the edge of the farm. Mama Nia hugged Zuri tightly. "Be careful." Baba Django handed over a whistle and a small calabash of water. "If you see anything, blow this." Zuri nodded bravely. The night grew quiet. Owls hooted. Crickets sang. Zuri yawned. "I am brave," Zuri whispered. "I am brave," and slightly sleepy. And then, thump. Thump. The ground trembled. A massive shadow stretched across the field. Out from the darkness stepped Mogo, the giant. He was enormous, with round shoulders and hands big enough to hold 3 pumpkins at once. He carried a huge sack and sniffed the air. He rumbled. "Midnight snack." He began pulling maize from the ground and stuffing it into his sack. Zuri's heart pounded. Then Zuri jumped out and banged a metal lid. The giant froze. "You again?" He boomed. Zuri blew the whistle loudly. Villagers stirred in the distance. Mogo panicked and ran, his footsteps shaking the earth as he disappeared toward the hills. The villagers arrived too late. The next morning, before anyone could stop them, Zuri followed the giant footprints toward the hills. Past thorny bushes, past tall rocks. There it was, the giant's home. It was messy and smoky, with huge clay pots bubbling outside. Zuri stepped forward boldly. Mogo leaned out of his hut. "You are very small," he said, "and very noisy." "And you are very big," Zuri replied, "and very greedy." The giant frowned. "I am hungry," he muttered. "So are we," Zuri said. Mogo scratched his head. "Come inside," he said suddenly. "I show you something." Inside the hut was a massive cooking pot. "I have magic pot," the giant declared. Zuri tilted their head. "Really?" "Yes. Just climb inside." Zuri smiled sweetly. "But how do I know it works?" The giant blinked. "What do you mean?" "You first," Zuri said brightly. The giant puffed up proudly. "I am the smartest giant in the hills." "Exactly," Zuri replied. Mogo squeezed himself into the pot, grunting and adjusting awkwardly. "See?" he boomed. "Magic!" Zuri quickly grabbed the lid and slammed it shut. Clang! Before Mogo could react, Zuri wedged a thick stick through the handles and locked the pot tight. "Hey!" the giant roared. "Why dark?" "Because stealing is not magic," Zuri said firmly. "It's wrong." Mogo thumped inside the pot. "I was hungry," he complained. "So ask," Zuri replied. "Or work or trade. Don't take." The giant grew quiet. Zuri ran back to the village and told everyone what happened. The villagers gathered and returned together to the hills. They stood before the giant's hut. Inside the pot, Mogo grumbled. "If you let me out," he said softly, "I promise to stop stealing." Zuri crossed their arms. A promise is serious. I promise on my giant heart, Mogo said. The villagers looked at each other. Baba Jengo stepped forward. If you truly stop stealing, he said, you may help us instead. The giant hesitated. Yes, Zuri said. Big muscles should do big good. After a long pause, the giant sighed. Fine, he said, but I still want stew sometimes. Mama Nia smiled gently. If you help honestly, we will share. They opened the pot. Mogo stepped out slowly. And from that day on, something surprising happened. The giant did not steal again. Instead, he carried heavy water jars for elders. He moved fallen trees from roads. He scared away wild animals from farms. He worked hard. And sometimes, when the sun set and cooking smoke rose from the village, he sat at the edge of Mwanga and shared a bowl of stew earned honestly. Zuri became known not as the strongest child, but as the wisest. And in the village of Mwanga, people learned something important. Strength can shake the ground, but wisdom can change a heart. And whenever children passed the hills, they smiled and said, that's where the giant learned to be kind. And the wind, moving through the tall grass, seemed to whisper back, brains are taller than giants.